Hello. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about spirituality in a practical sense and how it relates to everyday practical life. I think a lot of people see spirituality as this kind of more abstract, etheric pursuit. Um, and I just want to point out that spirituality is anything but etheric and abstract. Spirituality has to do with how you are in the world, how you relate to other people, how you experience life, whether you're actually suffering or not. Spirituality is all about alleviating the source of suffering, like what actually causes you to suffer. And suffering is such a big, like weird term that is thrown about, but really it just means the experiences usually that you would say are not enjoyable. When you find that something kind of hits against your stuff or pushes your buttons, that is suffering. And it comes in all different kind of flavors and levels of intensity. But it could be something as subtle as, you know, you walk down the street and somebody looked at you in a funny way and you felt like defensive, or you felt aggression, or you felt some kind of negative emotion. That is suffering. It could also be something like, just had a tragedy happen and a loved one died unexpectedly. That is suffering too. That could cause suffering too. That if you have a lot of emotion that comes up, um, that there can be a lot of suffering around that as well. So suffering in general, it's such a strange term, but for some reason it caught on the spiritual circles, and um, really what it means is any kind of experience that you're really um, not liking. Uh, and spirituality is all about alleviating the source of that. So, and this goes into kind of like the root of spirituality. But the assumptions that we're making in the world right now, and I'm saying right now, but it's been going on for thousands of years, is that things cause us to experience in a certain way. And so, for example, you know, my thermos knocks on my desk, and that causes a sense of, frustration, for example. And so the way that most people experience life is that they think that the thermos falling was the source of my frustration, that that's where the feeling came from, even though there's nothing in science or anywhere to prove that, the actual act of a falling thermos causes that emotion in people in general. Like the reaction could be very different to other people. So it's not the event itself that causes the suffering. And so spirituality is really taking a look at that and taking a look at where does this suffering actually come from. So it's all about that. It's all about alleviating suffering, finding freedom. At the end of the day, what most people want is to be happy, to be free, to feel open. Um, and they're suffering in different ways, in big ways and small ways, in everyday life. So it's all about finding freedom in your everyday life. So there's nothing etheric or abstract about spirituality. I think it's the most important pursuit that anybody can make, because it also goes towards the root. So, for example, a lot of people want to achieve things in order to get that sense of openness and freedom. So they want to, earn a lot of money and or maybe be famous, or have thousands of people watch their TikToks or YouTube channel or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, what they want that for is so that they can feel okay, so that they can feel open and free and like they can do whatever they want. Um, And at the end of the day, that feeling is not really, again, coming from the things that you think are going to get you there, or the things that people think are going to get them there. So spirituality is all about going to the root, both to alleviate suffering, but also to find freedom. So yeah, I think it's important, and I'm gonna try to do my part with this channel to talk about spirituality in a more grounded way without using any kind of weird terminology like suffering. Um, or if I use that terminology, at least to ground it, to bring it back and talking about what that means, at least what it means to me. Um, and yeah, I wanna help people be more clear about this because I think this is a very important pursuit. Um, and yeah, so I wanna help people with that. So hopefully, I'm gonna be doing my best to ground things and make sure that the words I use are not tinged with all this, non-dual or spiritual slang, or terminology. So yeah, let's go to it.